I've been a nurse for 24 years, and despite being the strong and capable professional that my patients and colleagues see on the outside, on the inside I was a brittle and broken soul. My uniform was my external armour, you see, hiding the emotional and controlling and sometimes physical scars that my husband inflicted on me over decades.
I found you in your wild. I took you in my wings, and I fly you away from here. 'Cause honey, you're broken, and I know it, 'cause I've been there. Wounded and full of fear.
This is a story of truth, of ugliness, of cruelty, of isolation, but also of hope. And one amazing woman who gave me the help I so desperately needed. An intensive care, just for me. I'm almost there, free of him and of the abuse. I hope you'll continue to listen. I met Pete when I was 16 and he was 23. In comparison to all the lads at school, he was charming and so grown up. And when his attention turned to me, I was, of course, flattered.
Hi, you right?
Yeah, good. Alright. So I've got something to tell you. I've been seeing someone else and we got engaged a while ago. But
Are you joking?
I can promise you it doesn't mean anything. It's all about you.
What do you mean it's all about me? You just said you're engaged.
Yeah, but I'm going to leave her. It doesn't matter. Like, it means nothing.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
She means nothing to me.
It does matter, you're engaged.
Yeah,
Get off
it's
me!
Absolutely fine.
Get off me!
We're going to be alright. I promise you we're going to be alright. Okay. It's all about you. Yeah? We're going to be together. I'm going to be here for you. Only you. Yeah? No one else. Yeah?
Promise.
Of course I promise.
Promise.
I promise you. It's only about you.
Love you.
I love you too. Yeah?
Sorry.
It's alright.
Sorry, it's just a shock, that was
Fine. We can forget about it, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Alright. Cool. Good. Ready to go?
Yeah, right.
Dangling on a tightrope for weeks, I hovered and waited as he vanished. Calls and messages ignored. Eventually, I found a new focus to fill the gap he'd left. One of my life's focus, nursing. I got the grades to go to college in York, and it was the making of the once meek, mild and slightly damaged me.
Yeah, you alright?
Yeah, you've been busy?
Yeah, not bad. Want to make us a brew? Make yourself one.
Yeah, right.
Working at a cafe part-time to support my studies, he called in for a coffee. And to this day, I'm not convinced it wasn't planned.
What can I get you?
Just a coffee, please. How have you been?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
I've been doing my nursing, just working here part-time.
Yeah, you're looking good. So do you fancy going for a drink sometime? Be good to catch up, you know. Old time's sake.
I stupidly said, maybe. The self-assured and attractive woman he saw was not the immature girl he once knew, and so his tactics changed. It was all dining out, concert tickets, invited to his friends' parties. I was no longer hidden. I was on show for all to see. And so yes, I allowed him back in and it felt good. So good. For a time. On reflection, the control was there so early on. If only I'd looked hard enough or knew what to look out for.
Come on, I've got concert tickets and booked a hotel.
Oh, I have to study.
I told you we're meeting Billy and his girlfriend. Come
I've got
on.
an exam.
You'll be alright, love. You know we can't let Billy down. Come
You
on.
know I can't drink on a college night.
Just one. Come on, it'll be fine.
Fine.
Right, we'll go upstairs and get changed. You're not making me look bad dressed like that.
I don't know why, but I almost always gave in. After 5 months, I fell pregnant. I won't say it was a mistake because in addition to nursing, being a mum was and still has been the making of me. Not for him though. He gave me ultimatums that either didn't include our baby or wouldn't include him. If you love me, like you say you do, you would want what I want. And having a baby is not what I want. I said I'd have this baby without him. To my surprise, he stayed. The reluctant father, the reluctant partner. He was absent in both body and mind. The day our son was born, he was at a football match. That afternoon, as I cradled our son in my arms on my own, he was in the pub, wetting our baby's head, his baby that he'd not yet seen, less held. Over the next few months, to most, he was a good dad.
Yeah, he's growing now, isn't he? Look at those little legs. Yeah, he'll be playing for Bradford City soon.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Yeah, really good, thank you. Yeah, he's not doing bad at all. Sleeping through and everything. Yeah. Yeah, he's doing all right. Oh, I know. It's all right, little angel. Look at his little smile. Yeah, I've got
How
a good
did
one
he
there.
know? Never there, and even when he was, he didn't really bother with our little boy. A father? No. At one point, and I can't quite remember when, a bigger light switch turned on in his brain. He used to be able to control who I saw and what I did in the early days, even if it was subtle at the time. Now, as a mother, I was far more vulnerable. It was money at first. I'd left nursing temporarily and was penniless, having to beg to get the basics in. Food for us all, clothes for our son, even a couple of quid so I could go to a coffee morning with other young mums.
What do you buy Cowpole for?
The baby.
You don't need it. I never had it as a kid. It'll be fine.
I'm sure you did have us again.
Don't buy it
He's
again,
crying.
alright? Don't
He needs it.
buy
It's not for me. It's
again.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
And he had money, lots of it, big wads of it. Just not for us. Remember, I'd been independent. Bursary for nursing, my own small flat, job at a cafe, and I never went without. Didn't have much, but at least I had something. With him, I had nothing. Every weekend, he'd be in the pub or at a match, drinking all day. That costs. He could find money for that, but not his family. You might be thinking, so he wasn't a great dad or partner. That doesn't make him a perpetrator of domestic abuse. But he was. Financial abuse exists, and it's hard. Eventually, survivor mode stepped in. With our child finally in daycare and my mum and dad on willing standby, I returned to my training to become a nurse. He didn't like this. He didn't like it at all. I was carving a career that would cripple part of his control of me. Ultimately, he knew I'd have my own money. Perhaps regain the confidence he'd already shattered.
Hi, you okay? Yeah, I'll just be with you in a minute. I'll get
Yes, I qualified, and yes, I was a great nurse who would get promoted. I was and still am respected by my peers, my patients. On the ward, I felt empowered, important, knew who I was and what I needed to do. But at home, something that I've not mentioned until now is that he'd hit me.
Who was that at the door?
Just someone delivering a parcel.
Why'd you have to smile at him?
I didn't, I just took the parcel off him. I just
You
took
don't
the
need to
parcel off him.
smile
Please just
at
leave me
anyone
alone.
else.
Please
Do you
don't,
understand?
Please. I didn't just,
When
I
I'm
just,
here, you look at me, you don't need to
Okay,
look at
I'm
anyone
sorry,
else.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah? What do you need to
Please,
say?
Please, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. Pathetic.
Please, I didn't do anything.
It's not going to happen again, is it?
No, it won't.
No.
Please, just take
You look
your
at
hands off
me.
Please, okay.
Only me.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Good.
Please.
I'm so sorry. I swear it will never happen again. It just made me so mad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. I promise you. Honestly, that's the last time I promise. You just make me mad.
It sounds strange, but the physical pain wasn't what I feared the most. No. The hardest part was the ever-present hovering threat that at any point, at any time of any day, it could happen again. This fear puts you on constant high alert to everything and anything you do or don't do. And so you cower and crawl through the days hoping that whatever you did was good enough, whatever you said wouldn't be taken the wrong way. Oh, I'm not hungry.
But I made it for you.
I don't really think.
But I made it for you. Eat it. Eat it! Not just one slice, I've made you two. Eat them both.
Of the worst times, a holiday with all of the family in Morocco. It was there that I was seriously sexually assaulted. Not by him, but by a staff member behind a locked door at the hotel as they all sat drinking in a bar somewhere. I couldn't tell him at the time. We only had 2 days left and he'd either have not believed me, accused me of leading him on, or killed him. And so I kept quiet until we got home. He'd noticed my retreat, the early nights, the excuses, and so after another battle of trying to conceal my pain, I told him. I told him exactly what had happened, that the bruises on my legs and arms weren't because I'd fallen, but because I'd been sexually assaulted. His response? My fault, as predicted. A need for all the forensic details, moment by moment, me reliving it all again. And then the shame on him. On him. How could I? I didn't, please believe me, I didn't. Not one notion of compassion, not one reassuring word, not one gesture of support. Instead, I was made to feel dirty, unfaithful, disloyal. I was tainted on the inside. He wouldn't go near me in that way. Within days of my admission, I was forced into giving him oral sex instead. I complied out of fear. It was then that I started to realise I couldn't go on anymore. I just couldn't. People may watch this and wonder why I didn't leave sooner. Why didn't you just leave? There are lots of reasons, but mostly because in the beginning, the subtle signs of financial control and coercive abuse, well, I didn't know that was abuse. I didn't know that it counted, that I was a victim all along. Yes, the physical and sexual abuse I knew were wrong. I was a nurse after all. But the other, more subtle signs of abuse, I just got used to it. I should have never gotten used to it. There were 3 triggers that switched my brain into thinking that enough was enough and I had to get out. The first, his response after I was sexually assaulted. The second, my dad dying. Sudden and unexpected. It was immeasurably hard, and even he couldn't be cruel to me at this time. It was weird. I didn't recognise this man. He showed me empathy. I was allowed to do what I needed to do without him shouting, screaming or controlling me. I organised everything from the funeral to my dad's affairs. Me. And he didn't question me once. I'd forgotten I could be the one in control. And the third trigger, the last beating and more bruises to show for it. I remember thinking, this is proof of the monster I'm married to. This is my opportunity to get help. I walked into my manager's office, told her what had happened and asked her to take photos as I didn't have anyone else. It was then I was introduced to Nikki, an independent domestic abuse advisor based at our hospital. As I shared details of my double life, Nikki listened. She never judged, and she opened my eyes to all of the abuse I'd suffered beyond the bruises. Financial, isolation, control, coercion, all against the law, all abuse. I never knew till then. And with her expertise and support, we made a plan. My secret safety plan to get me as far away from him as possible. Armed with knowledge, power and knowing my rights, thanks to Nikki, I'm here telling my story, and when I'm finished, I won't be going back to the house I once shared with him, my abuser. No, I'm going back to my house. A place on my street, where only I and my son belong. I am safe. And finally, my last words are for Nikki. Had she not been there, I'm not convinced that I would have had the courage to leave him. In fact, I know I wouldn't. So I'd still be in that toxic of all toxic relationships, crawling cautiously through life, afraid. She was there though, every step of the way. And when I say she saved my life, my soul, I mean it. She did. Humble as she is, she gently insists that it was my strength that freed me. That she simply showed me another level of understanding, another path, a different way. But you did so much more than that, Nikki. And for that, thank you. Thank you for your intensive care. If any of this sounds familiar to you, then there is help out there. Support and advice too. You can do whatever you want, of course. But I know if I knew back then what I know now, I'd have left a long, long time ago. Maybe it's time for you, for your own intensive care. Just for you.